So before this video starts, I'd been sitting in the backyard. My son was arguing with somebody on the phone. He was about 20 feet away from me. I didn't really know what was going on with him because I wasn't paying attention to it and listening to his conversation. So I honestly thought he was arguing with somebody like his girlfriend or something because I didn't know what was going on. And he got up, he walked in the house. I figured he was done, he was going to bed. So a few minutes went by and he comes back outside and says, "Dad, there's men coming with guns to beat me up." So I got up, went directly in the house, grabbed a gun out of my safe, and at this point he had already gone out the front door and was already outside. I didn't know exactly where he went, so I went straight out front to see if he was out there, and he was out there and there was nobody else there. So I calmly sat on the porch, told him and started telling my son, "There's nobody coming, come on, there's nobody coming, come on," trying to get him to come back in the house. That went on for a couple minutes. And then at this point, I seen 6 guys coming walking down my sidewalk towards my house. My son started getting nervous. I got up and walked down to the sidewalk on the front corner of my yard. And I immediately told these guys they need to leave. And they immediately started in on me, saying, "That's not a real gun, you fucking pussy, that's not a real gun, fuck you, shoot me, shoot me." And I continually told them they need to leave. Another one on to the right started in on my son, and I'm not sure exactly what they were saying, because I had the guys directly in front of me were taunting me, telling me to put the gun down and to see what happens to you. I seen my son go down to the edge of the yard and step across the fence. He then got surrounded by these 6 men. And a few seconds later, a fight pursued, which you'll see happens here shortly. During this time, I was continually taunted by the guys in front of me, telling me to put the gun down to see what happens to you, telling me it's not a real gun, calling me a pussy, and you can see me pointing at him and telling him to leave. These men refused to leave. They would not leave, and they wouldn't back down. They did everything they could, and finally got my son to come across the fence off of our grass. And that's when the fight started. These men started fighting. I started telling the rest of them to back up, and get the fuck out of here. And you can see at this point, my son goes to the ground, and the guy behind the truck kicked him while he was down. And I started walking over. I walked over. I started just telling these men to back the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. And they were refused. And my son continually kept getting beat. And I was constantly telling these men to get out of here. And they refused. They finally let my son get up after he'd been punched well over 20 times in the head, and then continued to punch him while he was standing up. Another guy started walking down the sidewalk, as I'm sure he was trying to get down the sidewalk to get around me, with the intention of getting the gun. As you can see him walking down the sidewalk backwards right there, staring at me. He was going to try to get around the fence. I seen him. I pointed at him and told him to get the fuck out of here, as you can see me do right here in the video. The guy seen that I noticed him and came back. At this point, there's still men in front of my son. I've told my son to get over here, trying to get him away from him. And these men are telling him, "You're not done." My son is repeatedly saying, "I'm done, I'm done." And they won't let him walk away. You can see the guy in front of him taunting him. And he just told him, "You're not done, because I'm going to fucking kill you." And that's what brought me across the yard. I handed the gun back to my son and told him, "Just hold this," and went after the guy that just threatened his life.